Welcome into the program, everybody. This is Alabama Unfiltered Radio. I am Scott Beason. It is a Monday, the 3rd day of August in the year of our Lord 2026. I hope you've had a great weekend, and I hope the morning has gone well as well. I, of course, am here, Big Sky Mountain Mosley, making sure we can broadcast not only in the state of Alabama, but across the globe for anyone who is smart enough to listen to the show. The number here, 1-800-289-9228, 1-800-289-9228. That doesn't mean call in immediately. That means take the time to put it into your phone as we get started. Big Sky Mountain Mosley, how are you, buddy?
Doing great, man.
How was the weekend? The weekend was good?
Oh, it's fantastic. It was a little hot, but
yeah, it was. It was a little hot.
It's August
I had,
already.
Lots of work to do around the house, still lots of work to do trying to get some things repaired and fixed before football season gets here, where we're going to be gone most of the time. But when August starts, people start preparing for football season. I think high school sports start, I think they can start hitting this week, I think, or be in pads, however they
we
say
have the
it.
pads. Okay, go back to that. And then college football, 4 weeks from Saturday?
Is that what it is? Is the first college football game 4 weeks from Saturday?
Yeah.
Wow, who's playing first?
That's a great
I'm trying to
question.
think when Mac and them play first. They play their first game on a Thursday night, which is kind of crazy. I'm trying to remember which day because I need to. Actually, I need to remember which day. You know why, Scott?
Because you're going to need to go.
Because I'm going to need to go
be there.
somewhere. I got to find some people. I just realized that. So, all right, that's important. We'll work on that as well. But we're working out a peace deal with Iran?
Yes, I think that's on the table once again. Part 6 or 7, right?
Yeah. But look, I don't know what to think about it anymore. I mean, I know we probably, in my opinion, not disagreeing with anybody, y'all don't get mad. I don't think we should be there in the first place. I think I agree with what Marco Rubio said early in the conflict, that basically we got in because Israel told us to, or told us we needed to, or we went based on what they said. I mean, you can go find the Marco Rubio stuff if you want, if you don't believe me. And I hope we don't get into some sort of quagmire. I do think we're doing this. We may not be doing it, but, and maybe, look, this is the way I would fight a war. This is the way I think wars probably should have been fought the whole entire time. Do y'all remember? It comes up in Revolutionary War movies from time to time, okay? This whole concept of don't take out the officers, don't take out the generals. So somewhere in history, I think it was mostly European kings, decided that it was faux pas, maybe that's not the right word, frowned upon to take out the actual person sending everybody else to war.
It wasn't gentlemanly.
It wasn't gentlemanly at all to try to take out, oh, my heaven's sakes, these rebels are taking out the officers. I cannot believe it. I think there's a part of it in the movie The Patriot where the British are a little bit perturbed. That is, the officers are going down first. And then what's going to happen when the rabble is just out there trying to fight on their own without being led by the wonderful bloodlines of the officers? But apparently that is not the way you're supposed to do business, okay? Otherwise, Mr. Green T-shirt Zelensky probably wouldn't still be on the planet in Ukraine. And I think the Ukrainians would have spent a lot of time, maybe they already have, trying to take out Vladimir Putin. But it seems like what is going on with this Iranian conflict is that somebody, maybe not us, maybe it is, but anytime somebody decides, hey, I'm the new leader, if that new leader doesn't seem to be willing to negotiate a peace, well, then we get a new leader by taking out the old leader, which I'm fine with. I don't have a problem with that. To me, that seems like the general idea of warfare is to take out the people at the top who want to be at war. Now, with that said, there's always a two-directional street here. That would mean that the Iranians would hope to take out the man at the top in Israel, hope to take out the man at the top in the United States, which we act like we get really bent out of shape. Or at least they try to bend us out of shape about that. Remember the stories from just a few days back? It was floated across the U.S. news, and it never really stuck, never really gathered. They've floated this out, I think, 2 times at least, maybe 3 times, that the Iranians want to assassinate the president of the United States. And I'm just confessing that when I heard that news, if that news is indeed real, I thought I had two versions. I had the standard American uninformed version, which is, oh heavens, no, I cannot believe this. This is unacceptable. And then I had my cynical version, which is, why is that unacceptable? Now, I'm not for it in any fashion, but why would I be surprised? Is that because we as Americans don't really think through anything? We think it's perfectly fine to try to assassinate the leaders of other countries that we're against, but we're greatly bothered to the depths of our soul that someone from that country would try to assassinate our leaders? No, I'm not saying you don't deserve a butt whooping for it. I'm not saying that I'm supportive of it. I just think, Sky, that somehow along the way, we've become very disconnected from reality, from like how things actually work between human beings.
Amen.
Like we see war as, hey, they're going to fight down there. They've got a place down there. They're going to call it the battlefield, and it has some out of bounds. And if anything goes outside, there's going to be a penalty. We're going to call a penalty flag, and there's going to have to be retribution. And heaven forbid anybody get out of there. And on top of that, I've got stuff I've got to do. I mean, I need to lay out by the pool. I need to, got to go play some pickleball. My kids have some games. I need to charge my cell phone. But so don't let this war or any war affect any of those things that I have in my regular everyday life, because that's just not the way that's not the way you're supposed to do it. You're just not supposed to do it that way. When the history of war is just unbelievable. I mean, I know we don't read a lot of history, and heaven forbid we read any of the scripture. But Sky, war has always been way, way worse, where if someone loses, they're enslaved at best, where all the men are killed. And then sometimes the men and the women are killed. And then sometimes the men, the women, and the children are killed. And that way there's never, never anybody to take revenge. And look, we have these quote unquote new moral standards. Israel was all in. We're just talking about the different ways that it's done. Russia and Ukraine have played the, hey, here's the front, let's fight here. Ukraine decided that they wanted to start firing into the interior of Russia, which all that has led is to Kiev just taking a beating. They took another beating over the weekend. So you start playing outside the bounds, well, now the boundary gets really big. But at the same time, you have Israel and their conflict with Gaza. And I know it makes people uncomfortable, but they're like, many of their citizens, many of their leaders are like, we just need to take out everybody, so that there's no coming back. There's no fighting another day. It's a rough world out there.
It is.
We'll be back.
Every time I get a chance to listen to you, I just think how grateful I am and how much we need you on a national level so more people can hear you.
Scott Beason, president of ARP, Alabama Recovering Politicians.
We are back, everybody. If you want to weigh in on this issue about Iran, where we are, whether or not we think that, or if we understand here in America that the world is a dangerous, rough, mean human history is rough. We have these battles. I guess we've been taught that I mean, I think, Sky, some of us think that wars are just fought Monday through Friday. You just go to work, you fight the war, you come home, and nobody messes with you when you got your time off. Everything, certain places are safe. I don't understand that. And we've had this small window of quote unquote civility, which I don't believe actually was ever as civil as people act like it. But you look through history, and there are a number of examples. Let me ask you this one. Say the Roman legions move through somewhere, okay? And this place is now under the control of Rome. And they really didn't want to take it over completely, other than, hey, look, you can pay some taxes and you're now Roman, but do your own thing. You know what I'm saying? Just don't be rabble rousing. And we all go out and rabble rouse, rebel. Rome comes in and kills, I don't know, half of us, all of us, maybe. So that the lesson is, you don't rebel against Rome. They don't have any desire to lose any more of their people or use any more of their resources for someone who's not going to stay being ruled. That's just kind of the history of the world. And then we fast forward, we get all the way to World War II, which is, World War I is where, the whole gassing everybody, that kind of stuff. Then everybody agrees we're not going to gas everybody, which is kind of strange. And World War II ends with us dropping 2 atomic bombs on Japanese cities. One, arguably, at least according to history, was where most of the Christians lived. Did you know that?
I have not heard that one.
Apparently, I think it was Nagasaki.
That was the second bomb.
Yeah. Let's see. What was the most Christian city in Japan during World War II? WW11, right? That's what the Democrat lady said. WW11. Let's see. Nagasaki. Nagasaki was called the Rome of Japan, had the largest concentration of Christians in the country, a legacy dating back to the 16th century, and that's one of them we chose to bomb.
Wow, I had no idea.
There really is a weird, this is not a knock on anybody, there is a weird pattern with American force and power, going back to World War II, maybe before, where we have this tendency to smack the Christian populations. And people would act like that's not true, but there's a few examples of it. And somebody has to ask, why is that? Where did it come from? The first one I remember was was it the Serbian? When Bill Clinton decides to bomb the Serbs, who were the Serbs fighting? Was it the Bosnians and the Serbs?
That's correct. Yes.
And they're having a conflict, a little civil war, and then we're going to go in there and bring about peace, and we just bomb a group of people into the Stone Age. My understanding is we bombed the Christians, who were supposedly, their story was, hey, look, we've been under Islamic rule this whole time. We finally get the gumption and the ability to fight back, and then the United States comes and kills all of us? Now, somebody call me and tell me how that's not accurate. I don't know if it is, but it just seems a little bit on the strange side from time to time. But that's neither here nor there. So we have a war that starts with, hey, no mustard gassing people because that's horrible, right? Can't do that. We learned that from World War I. That's just bad. We shouldn't be doing that. We've got rules. We got guidelines. We want civility. And then we end that war with the atomic bomb, which I'm supportive of doing that.
I am as well.
Because I don't want another 500,000 Americans to die just trying to take the Japanese mainland.
Not to mention the Japanese that would have died defending the. They were coming out, women and children with pikes,
And
to the
getting
coastline.
mowed
And
down.
It was fanatical resistance, and the bloodshed, the carnage would have been umpteen times worse.
And that's a good example of propaganda. Because when you have women and children, well, I guess the women were doing it. Children didn't know any better. But hurling themselves off of cliffs to their deaths because what they were told the Americans were going to do. Can you imagine if the Japanese had won at least their portion of World War II, what their history books would say?
Yes, I can. Living in the current situation that I do.
Yeah,
I can imagine
because
it.
apparently the Japanese
Knowing-
women thought that the American soldiers were 100% rapist, brutal, terrible, just some sort of human being or less than a human being that you couldn't even, the treatment would be awful.
Yeah, they were jumping off cliffs with their babies in their arms.
Yes.
Rather than face
surrender.
the Americans to the
Yeah. Americans.
Yeah.
So war is awful. I just wonder what. I've never seen this, okay? But now that we know so much about propaganda, what do you think Iranians are told about Americans?
Great Satan, for starters. That's
That's number one. That's the easy one.
That's where we start.
But I just wonder what else they really think. Because we know now that we can't trust about half of history because what history tells or what history leaves out. And it's just, it's brutal. But back to the start of the thing, and I know we got to go, and I'll move on to another topic. This whole idea that the leaders aren't to be targeted seems kind of dumb to me. Because it seems like the history of the world is, well, I shouldn't say the whole history of the world, because if you're looking at the days of the Old Testament, the days of Alexander the Great, the days of it kind of started fading away a little bit, I guess, in the Roman Empire when they were big enough for Caesar to send the legions out on his behalf. But there was a time when if you wanted to conquer the next tribe or you wanted to conquer the next kingdom, well, you went out. That was part of the deal. Probably not because you wanted to. Because if I sent Sky out to fight the I don't know who Sky's fighting, the Moabites, and Sky goes and wins, and all the army is like, Sky's the great, we love General Sky. General Sky eventually gets around to General Sky ought to be king. So I have to go out and fight with my men. I have to go fight in the battle to be able to stay in power. And now we have a situation where old men send young men to die for something we're not sure about. I'm not saying that's what we're doing in Iran. I'm just saying it sure does seem like a lot of people whipping a lot of other folks up and sending folks to different places. A lot of stuff to do, a lot of questions to ask. We'll be back.
Alabama Unfiltered Radio with Scott Beason.
every time I get a chance to listen to you, I just think how grateful I am and how much we need you on a national level so more people can hear you.
Scott Beason, president of ARP, Alabama Recovering Politicians.
Welcome into the program, everybody. This is Alabama Unfiltered Radio. I'm Scott Beason. I'm coming out to the phones in just a second. Sky, it's another one of those things where I just wish I didn't stumble across stuff. Like, I'm saying stuff. I'm just talking. I'm talking with y'all. Can we have a discussion? I don't agree with you, Scott. You're wrong, or okay, fine, or maybe I'll think about it. So I did a little more research. Not only was Nagasaki was the most Christian city in Japan during World War II, referred to as the Rome of Japan. The Urakami district. Urakami was a suburb of Nagasaki.
Okay.
Urakami was the home to the Urakami Cathedral, which was the largest Catholic church in Asia at the time.
In all of Asia, not Japan.
In all of Asia.
All of Asia.
All of Asia.
Fairly significant.
And it turns out that Urakami was the Christian suburb. Okay, so Nagasaki was not all Christian. The most of the Christians lived in this suburb, Urakami, which is where we ended up blowing up with the second bomb. The detonation occurred approximately 500 meters, so I don't know what that is, 550 yards or something. A good par 5 hole in golf from the Urakami Cathedral, and it just turns out that parishioners were there preparing for, what was it called? The Feast of Assumption. There were 1,200 Catholics, 8,500 were killed instantly. Then I made the mistake. I should not ask these questions. Was there not a more strategic or bigger city than Nagasaki to attack? Of course, AI, referencing a BBC report, says yes, there were several much larger and more strategic cities, but most had either already been destroyed or were deliberately preserved for specific political and scientific reasons.
What does that mean? Political or scientific reasons?
It says it was not, Nagasaki was not initially on the U.S. Target Committee's high priority list. It only became the target due to a mix of pre-atomic destruction, political intervention, and bad weather.
Political intervention.
Does that not start giving you a weird feeling? Especially since we turned over, half of Europe to the freaking Bolshevik, pagan, godless, atheist communist.
And that was definitely political intervention. Right
yes, we absolutely did it.
Y'all stop fighting the war now. We got to let the communists catch up and meet us in Berlin.
Yes.
Yeah. Deal was already cut.
Which is why were we making deals with those kind of folks?
With the communists, yeah. And remember, death count. You always hear Hitler and his numbers, but you never hear anything about Stalin and all the people he starved and murdered. 5 to 10 times as many? Yeah.
Seems like a lot.
You never hear a thing about that.
No, you really don't.
Strange, isn't it?
What's the order on the calls here, Sky?
We got Rooster coming up first.
All right, y'all don't go anywhere because we're coming to everybody. Rooster, welcome to the program. Thank you for listening.
Well, hello, Scott.
Hey, Rooster.
Look here, you talking about taking out the leadership and all?
Yeah, it just seems that's the way it used to be.
Well, you don't remember cowboy and Indian shows on TV?
Yeah, what about them?
You get all surrounded by the Indians, and you got the wagons all together and everything, and the only way you're going to get out of this is somebody shoots the chief.
That's a good point. That's a really good point.
You shoot the chief, and then the Indians don't know what to do, and they all run off because they got to go home and make a new plan.
Right. Right. Well, I mean, yeah, it just seems to make sense to me that would be what you'd want to do. Who do you try the hardest to tackle? And I mean, really just knock the snot out of them in a football game.
The quarterback, I guess.
The quarterback, absolutely right. Because without the leader on that side of the ball, they're in bad shape. And
but now you just hit me hard right there, man. Because you know, I don't care about ball games.
Right. No, I got you.
Me, right?
But I needed an example that would make people understand.
But look here, that book I sent you, man. I spent $20 seeing that.
Oh no, I'm definitely. I've got. Look, it's right here. It's right beside me. I have lots of work to do and lots of things to do, and I promise you, I'm not putting it off. Like it's not made it to the round filing cabinet or anything. No, it is on my to-do list, Rooster. I promise you, I would not let you down on that one.
Okay, now
it's going to freak me out, isn't it? It's going to freak me out, isn't it?
Yes, and the stuff that's in there is about these wars.
Okay.
Now, I don't know if you ever listen to the preachers on the radio, and I listen to shortwave at night. But anyway, there was one on there called, his name was Rick Wiles, and he had a thing called True News, and I used to listen to that. And when the war in Ukraine started up, he said that this war with Ukraine is because original homeland of the Ashkenazis. You know, we didn't have any trouble in the Middle East until after World War II in 1948 when the chosen people out of Europe moved in. The original Yahudims is that's the proper word, Yahuda.
Okay.
When the Yahudas in Jerusalem and all in there were living there for hundreds of years in peace.
Right.
With the Arabs, they were all fine until 1948 when the so-called chosen people out of Eastern Europe piled in there. There's one town, they killed like hundreds of people. They just come in with guns and tanks and bulldozers and everything, just took over and killed a lot of people. And that's why the Arabs hate us, because we back them.
Well, there was, and that is, do what now? Go ahead.
And when the Iranians are going death to America, that's why. Because we helped this situation get going, and we promoted it, and we backed it, and them and us and the Brits, and half of the damn Europeans. And so guess what? We are the enemy because they are the enemy. The chosen people went in there and murdered the hell out of all those folks. And taking over all the land. They were supposed to come in there and be peaceful, but they wasn't. And that's why they call it, everybody else call them goyim, which means nothing but animals. So we're just a bunch of animals, and they can just kill us at will. And this stuff about these wars, let me tell you what, they get all the young men, the young, brave, strong, men that are very patriotic and heroic, and they get them all killed. And then what happens? Well, next, let's say, like World War II, I don't know how many of them went, but say 500,000 of our people, our men, went to war. Well, half of them don't come back. Well, so we got 250,000 wives and with children that don't have husbands anymore. Well, then what? So now, how can we have a boom in babies? There ain't no damn way to have a boom in babies. That's insane. What we did have was a boom in immigration. And where did that come from? Oh, the same place, Eastern Europe, where all the so-called chosen people left from out of there, claiming that the Germans killed them all, but they didn't. You know, the International Red Cross says that in Germany at the time of the war starting, there wasn't but about 225 or so thousand of them in the whole country. And them little ovens they keep showing everybody ain't big enough to do all that, and they never found any giant mass graves to account for that. So what happened was we had a boom in immigration, and we called it a boom in babies. Well, if you
Rooster, we got to go, man. It's time for a break, buddy. But I will definitely look at your stuff.
All right, rock on.
Rock on. Thanks, Rooster. Hey, David, don't go anywhere.
man.
You're up next after this break. We'll be back.
Every time I get a chance to listen to you, I just think how grateful I am and how much we need you on a national level so more people can hear you.
Scott Beason, president of ARP, Alabama Recovering Politicians.
Welcome back into the program, everybody. This is Alabama Unfiltered Radio, starting off the second half of the show. Thanks for listening. Thanks for those of you who are checking us out over at YouTube. I think it's working. Maybe it's working right. I haven't had my usual folks who monitor it have not been sending me anything that says it's messed up this morning. So go over to YouTube, search for Scott Beason, and then find the Listen Live, and you'll get to see what we're doing this morning. Let's before I've got some feel-good stuff, Sky.
All right, it's Monday.
Oh, yeah, I mean, it's good. I mean, there is some good news on. Right before I go back out of the phones, I wanted to give you this one little part that just kind of makes me happy. And then again, I have to slam some people for being ding-dongs, but it makes me happy. Dominique Dillon is the lady's name. She is a Fox 13 anchor in Memphis, Tennessee. She recently took over the station's weekend broadcast. Well, she apparently has a baby at home. She has 2 small children at home. Mm-hmm. And during the broadcast, she appeared to briefly fall asleep.
Bless her heart. Okay. I can't fault her too much.
That's exactly what it says. It says that she appears to show Dillon with her eyes closed and her head resting in her hands as the camera lingered on her during a broadcast.
Hopefully she wasn't drooling or anything. And,
so they went out to the reporterette on scene, and then when they went back to her, she's just like, So God bless her. That is pretty good. And of course, you had the people who were like being turkeys and being a little bit mean. But I'm like,
well, I guarantee you they don't work in this business, because it can be a bit of a grind. Sometimes.
Yes,
you do get tired, and you have to. In their business, they have to, look pretty, women especially.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot of demand to be on your game and enthusiastic and
right.
beautiful and everything else. Yeah, so I'm definitely
I shouldn't tell you this story because you won't know who did it. But years ago, we were having to do a political commercial, okay? And I was trying to do my lines, and they were filming and the whole 9 yards, and I hate it all. And they're like, you need to smile. And if you watch me on YouTube, I don't. And they're like, we need to smile a little bigger. And I'm like, what are you talking about?
Yeah. That's the hardest thing to do is when people tell you in that situation to smile.
And you want me to tell you what they said?
Can you say it on
I can.
FCC regulations?
Yes, it's fine with FCC regulations.
Okay.
But it's but FCC, it's okay, I'll go ahead and tell you. They're like, look, you gotta be more. They're trying to think of how to explain it to me, so I'll get it, okay? And they're kind of hawing around, like you gotta smile more. You gotta be more animate. You gotta be. You gotta act more gay. And I'm
gay in the 1920s sense, or gay in the pride movement?
I'm like, what are you talking about? They said, no, everything's got to be more flamboyant. The smile's got to be bigger. The energy's got to be. It's got to feel like you're just doing too. What do the kids say now? He's just doing too much. That's what you got to do.
So over the top it.
Yeah. Yes, over the top. But I didn't understand what they were saying, and they were like, no, you got to be more. And I was like, oh, I get you. I mean, look, that's the power of communication, right?
If I got to be more gay, I don't know if this TV thing's going to work out.
It's going to work. Did you say more gay? Wait a minute. But it made sense. I mean, but because you've been in, you're around the business. You know exactly what it means. The animation level has to be higher. So these ladies who are doing the news, and they're trying to smile, if, like in real life, you're like, tone it down a little bit, girl. But over television, you have to overdo it. You gotta be more.
That's why I don't want to be on the whole YouTube thing, man. 'Cause there's no telling. I've seen some of the faces I make.
Oh well, I try to keep the nose picking down. That was also frowned upon. Let's go to Clark before I get myself in more trouble. Clark, welcome to the program.
Hey, Scott.
Hey, Clark.
Let's get in a lot of trouble. So
Why not?
you and me and the listeners
Okay.
are in charge, and we're in a smoke-filled room figuring out how things need to go for a minute. Now, would the world be a better place if China and Russia are able to dominate the planet? No, it would not, right?
It would not. No, I would prefer that we dominate the planet because we have to spread.
Yes.
Well, what are our Western values again, Clark?
Prefer if we dominate.
Okay.
Check.
All right. Well, I'll give you that for right now.
Has the Middle East been a major source of conflict for our entire lives?
Ever since they made that opening scene from the Beverly Hillbillies, ever since that occurred, the Middle East has been a problem. Well,
Check.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's really not true either.
If not for the dependence on the Middle Eastern oil, would Middle Eastern conflicts be of global significance? No.
No.
They really wouldn't, would they?
They would be like the conflicts that occur in the interior of Africa, where in all reality, almost no one cares because we're not getting our resources from them. Yes, check. 2 checks.
Okay. Could the United States of America, Venezuela, and Canada ramp up production and meet the needs that are currently being supplied by the Middle East?
Yes, we could.
Yes, we could. If we would ramp that up, then we could meet those needs. Now,
aren't we pretty much self-sufficient now? Supposedly?
No, we've been self-sufficient. Our problem is, oil is traded on a global market, and global prices set what we pay.
Why do we not just deal with that?
If but only we would.
Oh, I got you.
That would be a lot better. You ought not to be able to speculate on oil futures either.
That's a good point.
But, if the Middle East loses the ability to supply oil, the geopolitical incentive and the profit motives for selling them arms go away, don't they? They can't buy the arms because they don't have the money.
Yes.
And China, Russia, and the United States wouldn't want to be sucking up to them.
Correct.
For influence.
Yes.
So, long term, now let's just ignore the fact that there's an upcoming set of midterms and that the media and the left are the enemies of the Western world. Ignore those 2 things. Is it really in our long-term best interest to see the Straits of Hormuz open up anytime soon? Or do we just try to keep them tied up as long as we possibly can and make some other things happen?
Look, if we could strangle them into submission or strangle them into not being so important, that would be great. But as we've just talked about, Clark, it doesn't look like we're going to do anything to help our domestic prices go down, even though we probably have enough to fuel ourselves. If we would do all the right things all at the same time, I'm completely with you. But it looks like our plan is to strangle them and strangle all of us with $4, maybe $5 eventual gas. I have a hard time with that. I don't want everybody going broke just trying to eat and put gas in their cars.
No. Yes, and that's to some extent that's driving this. And the trillions of dollars that got printed in COVID stimulus ain't helped nothing.
Oh, that's bad. Yes, no. We're still inflation may not stop for a while. We're not Weimar Republic yet, but hey, I took my family. There was 4 of us. Where did we go? Not a swanky place, just a regular old cheeseburger kind of wing place. Okay, I won't say the name of it. And it was for 4 of us. It was like with the tip, of course. You got to pay your whatever that fee is called. It was like $80-something.
Yeah,
That's not that bad for 4 people nowadays.
No, I mean that's.
Would you get just water?
That's reasonable rates right now.
Yes, well, you got to get just water if you're going to be able to afford it. Don't get an appetizer. You're getting in the $100 range.
For real.
But I'm with you, Clark. I mean, if we would do the right things, we would, and that seems to be where we are in America a lot of times. We're 75% towards, hey, yeah, let's do it, but we won't do the last 25 because somebody's got a special deal, somebody's got to make a profit, somebody's investment is at risk. That seems to be, there's always, hey, give us a whole good piece of birthday cake, but, slab a bunch of grease on that last corner of the cake.
Well, it's kind of like that Possum Pogo said in the comic strip. We have met the enemy, and he is us.
You're right. Clark, you're welcome to hang over. We got to take a break. We'll be back.
Every time I get a chance to listen to you, I just think how grateful I am and how much we need you on a national level so more people can hear you.
Scott Beason, president of ARP, Alabama Recovering Politicians.
Show you can learn things, and I appreciate that.
I appreciate that, Fred. Thank you.
But that's true, and I mean that. I'm not being sarcastic. I am serious.
have to stop kowtowing to every little thing that they have said is bad and evil, and they don't get to decide what is right and wrong. I'll bank my money on what God, the Creator. Welcome back into the program, everybody. This is Alabama Unfiltered Radio. We appreciate you listening to the. When Clark called, it made me go and look up something. Apparently, the United States. It was quite a few years ago, and I asked Sky during the break because this was an important time in his life.
I remember.
When we first started saying in the United States that we needed to be energy independent.
And I nailed it.
He did. He got it. Absolutely right. 1973 oil crisis.
James Earl Carter came along shortly thereafter.
Yep. He was elected in, 76?
Mm-hmm.
Richard Nixon launched Project Independence to make U.S. energy self-sufficient. Guess when the target was?
1982.
80.
Okay, pretty close. Yeah.
Richard Nixon wanted the U.S. to be energy independent in 1980 so that we would not rely on the Middle East.
What a concept. Wow.
Yeah. Huh. Successive administrations under Ford, Carter, and later presidents continually pitched domestic production and conservation targets to break foreign fuel reliance. Now listen to this. While domestic, this is from the National Archives, while domestic oil and gas production reached historic highs in recent decades, making the U.S. a net total energy exporter. So we export energy.
Right.
That means sends it to other places.
We have a surplus.
Extras, more than we need, more than enough. Complete isolation from global commodity markets remains practically and economically unachievable. So when Richard Nixon kicked this off 53 years ago, do you think his goal, I know, terrible, mean old Richard Nixon, another horrible person from history.
Yeah.
Do you think his goal was for the United States to remain so tied to the global markets that when a frog, hiccups in the Middle East, that gas prices go up in Wetumpka, Alabama?
That was exactly the point not.
That's exactly right. So we're 53 into this, over half a century into this, and our politicians, our leaders, under the guise, and you know who's probably responsible for this guy? It's our freaking fakey Cato Institute-like Republicans. Oh no, I'm for the global. I'm for free market, Scott Beason. Are you against the free market, Scott Beason? Oh my gosh, they drive me freaking crazy. Because they're always for free market, this, that, and the other, capitalism, this, that, and the other, when regular people are getting the shaft, okay? They're always for it. But when big boy, Richie Rich, bougie man, his company starts getting squeezed, the federal government's more than willing to try to facilitate and help a little bit of competitiveness. Just a little thumb on the scale ain't bad here in our mercantilist country. But if you're paying $4 and something a gallon and it's $100 and something to fill up your car, you just need to take it. That's the free market. I don't know how many times I can warn people about this, and they can say, well, that's just that redneck guy in Alabama. That's fine. But this whole thing where even if it's not always the case, the appearance that the regular guy, the regular girl gets to shoulder the burden in their small little way while others get a deal, that's how we're sliding into this socialism, the socialist candidates on the Democrat side, the communists basically gaining more and more because the perception is, and I would say the reality is, and I would point at this example right here, that we're paying for gasoline based on global market forces. Oh, Scott, that's the right way. When in 1973, Richard Nixon because of an oil embargo, wanted us to be able to produce enough oil to do it on our own so that our market was our market. But it appears that the reason we can't fix it is because there is tremendous amounts of profits to be made.
That's right. Petrodollar.
So we have enough gas for gas to be, cheaper. I don't know where to set it, but cheaper. But oh no, we have to be tied to the global. Why do we have to be tied to the global market?
Because that's how the powers that be make their money.
Yes.
We have the capabilities, and then you had the EPA. Don't forget them. And they're rolling all this.
Yes, I know.
The environmentalists, don't forget them.
Mm-hmm.
We've got all these oil reserves all over the place. Well, even when you can finally tap into them a little bit, well, now you can't have the refineries. EPA regulate.
But let me ask you a question.
Do you hate the planet, Scott?
Yes,
Beason?
I do. I apparently
You
do.
do.
I'm going to add that to my list. Children, old people, and the planet.
That's right.
But
don't forget education.
But what if this guy? What if that's just the cover story to make us all feel like, golly, if we could just drill some more places, it would be cheaper. Why? We already have more than enough. How much more than enough do we have to have before we don't tie it to the global market? You get what I'm saying?
Yes, totally. And the oil is going to get drilled and refined anyway.
Yes.
Somewhere else on Earth, and it's going to be done much dirtier than we would have done it.
Yeah.
But,
But if we already only need 5 buckets of oil every day, okay? And we're already producing 6 buckets of oil every day in the United States, even if the environmentalists got out of the way and we produced 8 buckets of oil, they would still charge us the global price for it.
As we're witnessing.
Right.
Today.
We already have more than enough.
Yes.
And they're still sticking it to us. And where is it? We're on a quote unquote war footing. Now, I'm ill with the president. The president can have an executive order on glyphosate, okay, which is poisoning everybody in the world. Okay, that's just a fact. Glyphosate is not good for us. Poisoning Americans. Other places won't do it. He can have an executive order on AI, right?
Right.
He can't have an executive order on oil prices. It's directly related to a conflict we are in. Isn't that the time for emergency orders? Yes. Isn't that the appropriate time? Isn't that where you use the War Powers Act and say, hey, look, you can't make cars anymore. We're going to make you make missiles. We're going to make you make tanks. We're going to make you make Jeeps.
Certainly not unprecedented, is it?
No. So why are we paying out the nose? You
know why. You're just trying to get me to say it.
Yeah, I know, because I want to have a show tomorrow.
So do I.
Yeah. Let's take a break. We'll go out to Charles I of Do Any on the other side. Just asking questions. Y'all may have the answers. Scott, you don't even understand. Okay, fine. Explain it to me.
Hold up.
We'll be back.
every time I get a chance to listen to you, I just think how grateful I am and how much we need you on a national level so more people can hear you.
Scott Beason, president of ARP, Alabama Recovering Politicians.
You can learn things, and I appreciate.
Welcome back, everybody. This is Alabama Unfiltered Radio. We appreciate you listening. Don't forget the podcast over on YouTube, 1819 News, the podcast with Brian Dawson. I think it's the latest one. He has the guy from, Zimbabwe now. What was the name of Zimbabwe before it became Zimbabwe? Rhodesia. And then there's an article that the gentleman who was on there wrote. We're probably going to get to that today or tomorrow as well. But go check out that podcast. It's called 1819 News, the podcast. You can find it at any of the places that you usually listen to podcasts, Spotify, whatever. But Brian would appreciate it if you went over to YouTube and subscribed there. So do that, after you're through listening to us or watching what we do here. Let's go out to Charles the First of Dewey. Charles the First, welcome to the program. I hope you are well.
I'm well because it's just a lot cooler up here in North Alabama than it was.
What's the temperature up there? Yesterday I had to drive to the farm and pick up some scaffolding, and my truck doesn't have air conditioning, so it was nice riding with the windows down.
Yeah, it's just super nice right now. I want to say maybe in the 70s, 73 or something, and it's only supposed to get up to like 80 something right here at my house. So much better, I think. And I don't have air conditioning in my car, so I always roll down the window. So this is a good day for me to go somewhere.
Yep,
but
good.
I was going to tell you. I even got up this morning thinking, why aren't people as worried about World War III happening as before, and the whole concept of mutual assured destruction?
Mm-hmm.
And so I researched it, especially since I just recently, just this morning, and I found out something super interesting. Okay. Now, mutual assured destruction came mainly about because of this one man named Hugh Everett. He's a big person in quantum physics, okay?
Okay.
And he was with the Pentagon, and it was his report called the WSEG, okay?
Okay.
That made us be where we were when mutual assured destruction got stated, okay?
Okay.
Now, what it said was that radioactivity would be everywhere and cause a much, much greater problem. Nowadays, they say it's targeted. Have you got me? Like they would hit the place in Montgomery there that would be hit Huntsville. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that it wouldn't be so much of a radioactive thing. You got me? Now, get ready for what I found out.
Okay.
I found out that any AI data center that has anything to do with certain types of information, military, all that kind of stuff, that might be out in your rural area, they become secondary targets. That place would have never even got a nuke coming to it, except now it's got a data center it's not just one of them crypto ones. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like
they're saying all the AI
everything.
stuff is supposed to be integrated with the military, so I would see that that's possibly a military target that was in a rural area that otherwise wouldn't have been.
Right. And I was also going to tell you, one way that we can know that the war is going to end over there and there's going to be a treaty, and it kind of happened, I think, on Sunday, is what I'm about to tell you. And it was about the oil. So the head of Chevron went on the news because, just like you said, there's not a shortage here.
Correct.
But they want to make money.
Yes.
So he said, now, even though things might calm down and even though stuff might, get resolved or whatever you think it is, it's not going to be, because we've still got the insurance companies that's still going to be. So don't anybody think that the prices is going to fall. You can look at what I'm telling you.
I saw some of that and chose not to even look at it. I'm always fascinated that prices can go up because a frog farted in Saudi Arabia, but prices can't come down for a long time because it's just hard to get them down. Charles the First to do, and I don't even know how we'll ever get them down. That's one of the things that makes me angry. They can flash up but they fall so slowly.
Yes, and that's what he said. So we may be, in my opinion, to where there is going to be some type of agreement, because you wouldn't have these trying to figure out and manipulate, because they want the war to continue. They want anything that's going to make them where they're still getting a whole mess of money off the gas.
Mm-hmm.
And the only reason they're going to start making any little excuses is just kind of like what I said. We know now that, especially with November coming, we can't necessarily still be in this, that no matter what they might say to anybody to have it continue, it's going to have to not. You got me?
No, I got you.
And they want to get every single penny, and so them beginning to get worried enough to get on TV to tell you why your prices ain't going to come down means that something's in the works to make it be an agreement. Got me?
I got you. Good point, Charles the First. Appreciate you, buddy.
Thanks for having me on. Take care. Bye.
Hey, take care. Enjoy the cool day out there. I think it's like 78 degrees or something like that, Sky.
Just checked. It's in the 70s here in the river region, 79.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's pretty good for August.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Maybe it'll be a trend that'll stick with us for a while.
In other news, crude oil is down almost $5 a barrel today.
Down to what?
Yeah, we're down below $80.
Down below $80. Okay,
Yeah,
good,
how about
good.
that? So when you go to the pump today, check that out.
I'll probably see it immediately.
Well, for surely by the end of the week.
Yeah, it'll be down to whatever. Am I the only person that's irritated about that? People, the next question I'll get.
They don't notice it.
I'll get the question to be like, Scott, if you had an oil well, would you charge less, or would you charge what everybody else is charging? Would you make as much as you can? I would make as much as I can. I'm not an idiot. But if the government, whose job it is to keep Americans from being exploited, can we claim that should be one of their jobs? We don't allow fraud.
Regulate commerce.
Right. We regulate commerce so that people don't get shafted. We're not talking about price fixing or price setting, but when special events happen, you say, hey, look, you got to have some market forces here in the United States, and then you get to the next one, Sky. Well, how are we going to have market forces in the United States? There's not enough competition. Oh, really? Well, how did that happen? Oh, you mean in the past we let everybody centralize and consolidate? Oh, yeah.
Which is the same as price fixing.
Yes, it is. If there's only 3 of us selling tomatoes, guess what? Chances are they're all going to be about the same price.
And they are.
Almost
to the penny.
Every time I get, when I'm talking to quote unquote conservatives and I'm trying to point out, hey, look, do you philosophically understand what we're talking about? Do you have a philosophical underpinning, like a certain set of beliefs, or do you just spit back the talking points that some business group gave you? And unfortunately, many Republicans just spit back the talking points from a business group. We have to have, I know I need to quit saying you. We have to have more competition. We have to have the ability for an independent fuel provider, a smaller gasoline company, oil company, that can say, you know what, I'll charge a little less, and then everybody will come to my gas stations. That kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? But you just have a handful, they don't have to be in collusion to set the prices. They just know kind of how it works. We've been doing it so long, we know exactly where everybody's going to be. And that's part of the problem. We can't fix it. Here's another good. We got a minute. Do y'all want another feel good story, or do you want to wait till the other side of the break?
Well,
let's take the break and come back with happiness and cheerfulness. We'll be back.
Sounds like a good plan for a Monday.
We'll be back.
every time I get a chance to listen to you, I just think how grateful I am and how much we need you on a national level so more people can hear you.
Scott Beason, president of ARP, Alabama Recovering Politicians.
Welcome back in, everybody. Let's get out to your phone calls. It's a short segment before the top of the hour. Let's go to Robert from Florida. Robert, welcome in, and I hope you're well. Happy Monday to you.
Happy Monday to you, too. And I just want to let you know I appreciate the conversations this morning. And I keep saying, especially lately, it's really important to call out, your own side when they're in charge, And it's not a team sport. I mean, we're all here and dealing with everything. And I just want to remind, with the election coming up, do you remember who said, "Are you better off than you were 4 years ago"?
Ronald Reagan.
Yes, sir, that was. And did we have a gas price hike at that time? We had gas prices super high. We had oil shortages at that time.
We did.
Country was not looking very well at that time.
It was in a what was it, Robert? In a malaise, I think was the word.
Yeah, yes. And I have to tell you, when I pump gas and when I buy groceries and stuff like that, I know inflation was on the rise, before Trump, but with gas prices, this is on him. We open this can, and we got to do something about it because people will remember that, and come election time.
Hey, Robert, let me ask you about it because I saw a clip of, and it doesn't have anything. I don't want to drag something else in, but I know for a fact that Republicans sit in rooms with their consultants and say, well, where are Robert and Scott going to go? Are they going to vote for Democrats? And somebody will go, they're not. And I'm really worried about what happens in this election because there's a lot of Republicans who are bothered by a lot of things that are going on. They're not completely angry. We're more on the positive side than the negative side. But I still feel like there's this undertone of, well, where are they going to go? Robert's going to vote for us because where are they going to go? That's what I'm afraid of.
I know in this midterm, I just had someone this morning that, I like Tuberville, but I'm not sure about some of the things he says. I had somebody tell me the other day that all this about the data centers and all the pushback on the data centers is all just communist propaganda and it's not grassroots. But I live out here in Lowndes County, and I just passed several big pieces of property and land and farms with all signs, "Leave our land alone," and it's all about the data centers.
Right.
That's as grassroots as you can get. Those aren't Chinese that live there.
Yes,
and,
correct.
And as far as the voting, heck, at this point, I feel like, it's one big club and you're not in it. I feel like these guys are the redcoats. I mean, that's exactly, I feel like we got taxation without representation.
Every day that passes, and look, I'm cynical, but I'm still positive. I still love the United States. I love the promise of the United States. But every day that passes, it seems more and more like we have an oligarchy instead of a republic.
Yes.
And even this morning, Robert, I was thinking in my mind, whatever, and I just keep coming back to that. Hey, shut up, Scott. We're going to give you a job. You can come work for us. I mean, that's not the promise of America. Make this guy super wealthy so I can work for him. Yay, that's awesome. I appreciate you giving me that. And that's just the way I feel like it's lining up.
I do as well. And, some of the guys that actually I feel were asking the questions and had concerns, like Thomas Massey. Look what happened to Thomas Massey. So what are we going to left with? Bad choice one and bad choice two, and you just pick the lesser of two evils. So, I mean, I don't know. I don't feel eager to go out to the voting booth.
I'm glad you called because the story you told of somebody saying the thing about the data centers and about Tommy Tuberville, who I'm not against Tommy Tuberville, so people don't get wound up. That's the fourth or fifth story exactly like what you portrayed to me that I've heard in the last week. So it is not just a small group of people who are saying, this stuff bothers me. And wasn't it us? Wasn't it our side just a very short time ago that said we had no business covering up pasture land and farmland and forest land with stupid photovoltaic cells, these giant solar farms? Well, I mean, it was us that was saying that just a couple of years ago, just a few months ago. Yeah. And now we're like, well, just put a giant AI data center there. That'll be great. As long as it's not a bunch of solar cells, that's fine.
And I'm not hearing good explanations of why you need it. I'm hearing faster videos, AI is the future, but the way they're selling it, it sounds more like you're selling the Patriot Act. It started with you're not free market, you're not, and now it's for safety and security.
Right. No, I agree. I agree, Robert. Well, we're going to keep asking the questions here, man. I appreciate you listening and calling in.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. We'll be back.
Scott Beason, president of ARP, Alabama Recovering Politicians.
Welcome back into the program, everybody. Third half, Alabama Unfiltered Radio. We appreciate you listening, and we appreciate you being part of the programs. I don't know if you saw the story. Did you see the shooting at the In-N-Out in Idaho?
I did.
Sky?
I certainly did.
So a young man, what was his name? Oh, my goodness. Young man shows up at an In-N-Out restaurant with an AR-15. Proceeds to shoot people. We don't know anything about his motive as of yet, unless it came out during the program, and I haven't seen it.
I've seen speculation on it, but nothing has been confirmed as of yet.
So he's a leftist.
That appears to be the case.
Now, I say that because of Craig's Law.
What they're not telling us?
Yes. So you have it was a white guy, right?
They're saying it's a white guy. He appears to be somewhat Caucasian, yes.
Okay. So somewhat white guy. If you find out that the person who committed a crime that makes national news, especially a public shooting, mass shooting kind of thing, and he's white, and that's all you can know about him, we know automatically that he's not a conservative. Now, we may try to end up painting him as some sort of conservative, like he drove by an NRA convention at one time. He went to a Baptist church when he was 4 for Vacation Bible School. But since he's a white guy and they've let us know that part, he's probably not a conservative, because if he was a Trump supporter, right-winger out shooting people, we would know that almost immediately. That's just the way the press works here in the United States. So he goes out and commits this act, and he is stopped by, what was it, an off-duty state trooper?
Jordan Salinas.
Is he the off-duty state trooper, or is he the second person?
I'm sorry, Chad Williams. Salinas is the shooter.
Okay. No, Salinas is the hero.
Salinas is the hero. Chad Williams
was the
shooter.
Mass shooter.
Right.
Here's the story. Twin Falls Police Chief Matthew Hicks confirmed during a press conference on Saturday that a citizen returned fire at the gunman. The gunman was 24-year-old Chad Williams, who died of a self-inflicted gunshot wound after he was stopped by the person. We can confirm there was an off-duty state trooper and a citizen who actively engaged the suspect by returning gunfire towards him. We want to take a moment to commend the actions of the off-duty officer and the citizen and their heroic action to stop this incident. We believe their actions helped drive the suspect away from the scene, preventing further casualties. The citizen was a man named Salinas, donning a cowboy hat. Let's see what he had, like cowboy hat and jorts. And that's a real word, right? Jean shorts.
Yes, it's a real thing.
Cut off jeans.
Yeah.
And he looks like I do on the way to Lowe's or Home Depot on the weekend. Like I'm just out. I might have to stop by get me a burger or something for lunch. He sees this shooting going on, and here's what he says about it. Let's see. Come on. Here's the further. Come, give me the story. Give me the story. Give me the story. Here it is. The last 24 hours have been overwhelming. This is Salinas. I want to sincerely thank my family, friends, and everyone who has reached out with messages, prayers, and support. I haven't been able to respond to everyone yet, but please know I've seen your messages, and they mean more to me than I can put into words. In the coming days, I'll share a more complete account of what happened to the best of my recollection when I'm able. For now, my heart remains with the victims, their families, and everyone affected by yesterday's tragedy. Thank you for continuing to keep them in your thoughts and prayers, and thank you all. Oh, you like that? A little you all. Thank you all for the incredible support you've shown me and my family. He further detailed the exact moments leading up to the shooting and his jumping into action with his FN 57 to the Idaho Statesman on Sunday. His response, he said, was automatic and mechanical when he saw people running away and heard the gunfire. He did not like it when bullets started firing both ways, Salinas told the outlet, noting that he felt no fear. There's a task that needs to be done, and we're the ones who need to do it.
Testify.
God bless
there
this
it is,
man.
right there.
Listen to this. Everyone says it's not going to happen here, but what if it does? Salinas further detailed the years of training that prepared him for this moment as a healthcare worker and a full-time caregiver for his wheelchair-bound brother. He began preparing after a 2021 Boise Town Square mall shooting. He reasoned that he and his brother would be the soft targets that a shooter would go after. He started taking this training seriously that day. He shoots on weekends and trains in the desert outside of Eden, a small town in eastern Jerome County. He never pointed his gun at so much as an animal, he said, and never thought he'd need to use anything he practiced. Yet he drilled a 4-step approach borrowed from the military every week, always the same. Observer Salinas ran from the car, gun down. Video posted to social media shows a man slinking behind the in-and-out signs and shrubs, seeking out the source of the gunfire. Hidden from view, he established sight lines. He reminded himself to stay disciplined on the trigger. Soon he saw a man who police later identified as Chad Williams standing by the drive-through window. He watched as Williams lifted a rifle to his shoulder and fired toward cars. Okay, Salinas thought, this is the guy. He leveled his pistol with both hands and fired. That's what it's about, brother. That's a good guy with a gun stopping a bad guy with a gun.
And this is why the left-wing communist-supporting media is not reporting on it.
No, they don't want you
They
to
hate
know
this guy. This is their worst enemy right here.
Yes.
A good guy with a gun.
And how do you make him into a bad guy? I mean, he's a healthcare worker guy. He takes care of his paralyzed or crippled brother. He says, I've never even shot at an animal, but I thought maybe I need to practice this because my brother and I might be the soft targets. And he doesn't run from the event. Yeah. He says, I've got to do, there's a task that needs to be, that's the kind of thing that scares the left to death.
Amen. Oh, yes. This is it.
It's good
worst
guys
nightmare.
Who say there's a task that needs to be done, and we're the ones who need to do it. Their worldview teaches everyone to be a coward. Everyone to let everything else just happen to them instead of fighting back. This is
personal responsibility duty, honor, sacrifice. He's everything that they hate.
Absolutely. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. So God bless him, and we do pray for those other people. And I guess in the coming days, well, we don't. That would be a lie. If I said in the coming days, we'll find out what the motive was and what kind of guy the shooter was and all that kind of stuff. But that's not how it's been working the last few years.
Just disappears.
It just goes away. It just
fades away into the mist.
Local police department doesn't want us to read the manifesto. People get fired if they leak part of the manifesto. Was that in Nashville when they were doing all that?
Dad and several other.
My goodness gracious!
You can't hate the media enough, Scott.
Mm-hmm.
I tell you over and over again. But yeah, they'll bury this story. It's too good. It goes so far against the narrative.
Yes.
It's got to go away.
That they're going to have to. Let me see if we have anything about Chad Williams. What do we know about Chad Williams yet? What do we know about Chad Williams? Let's see if they've given us anything. Trump supporter, Republican voter, KTVB. Is that a radio station?
Could be, or could be television.
Here's what we've learned. This is Channel 7 somewhere. He's 24. We know that already.
Got that part.
He killed 3 people, injured 7. We already got that. Died of a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Got that.
That's what they're saying now. Okay.
Oh.
See?
Yeah, they're saying that after he got held up by the good guys that he went and shot himself.
That's kind of new.
Let's see.
That takes it down a notch, doesn't it?
You said, yeah, exactly. Authorities believe the pair helped drive Williams from the scene. Hicks urged the public not to spread misinformation. What information is this? Was not a member of a fire department. Okay, that doesn't surprise me at all. That's it. So, okay, here we go. Here's what we know about him. A whole story about him. Nothing. Okay. At least one other person that has been the target of online harassment. No, they know nothing. This is a whole story about what else we know, Sky. And you know what else we know? Nothing.
Nothing. Yeah.
All they know is who was not the shooter. Because apparently there were some folks that have the same name, and people were trying to hunt the name down, and they're like, "Well, that's not the guy." So there's
some information coming out. Like I said, I just can't get it confirmed yet, so I don't want to bring it up on the air. But yet,
give us a hint. Just a little.
It's you're all over it. It's
just what we expect.
It's going to be something like what you expect. It's going to be perhaps a religious type.
No way.
Yeah, but again, unconfirmed at this point. So
look, if you're going to do that,
give me a chance.
What is In-N-Out doing? Those are burgers. Yeah. We got to take a break. We'll be back.
every time I get a chance to listen to you, I just think how grateful I am and how much we need you on a national level so more people can hear you.
Scott Beason, president of ARP, Alabama Recovering Politicians.
So you can learn things, and I appreciate that.
I appreciate that, Fred. Thank you.
But that's true, and I mean that. I'm not being sarcastic. I am serious.
We are back, everybody. Thank you for listening to the program. The number here, 1-800-289-9228, 1-800-289-9228. New York City, Zoran Mamdani and his grocery stores that are going to provide the basics to citizens of New York at a 30% discount. The essentials. It's... Well, you know, I mean, everybody's going to want to go there, Sky. So how are we going to deal with this? I mean, you've got stores that are going to be artificially allowed to be cheaper than the private sector competition, which means a lot of people are going to want to go there and at least buy their essential items from the Mamdani grocery store. And what happens if, you know, like I'm from Alabama, Sky, and I'm driving through, I've been to a ball game or something, I have to go to New York City, and I've got an ice chest with me, and I'm like, you know what, honey, let's stop by the Mamdani grocery store. We'll get our groceries, some of the essentials. We'll just buy a whole bunch of steaks, because remember, they said they were going to have seafood, and so they're going to have steaks. I mean, I might buy a steak at a 30% discount, Sky.
Sounds like a pretty good
deal.
I
mean, they're twice as much as they should be, but a 30% discount is a pretty good deal. So how are they going to keep me from buying some of their steaks?
Well, let's see.
How would you do that?
Democrats don't believe in IDs.
No. I think
you can't do that.
I think they'll probably just ask me, are you legally here? Are you lawfully buying these steaks? Yeah, and that's probably what they'll do, because I'll pay with cash, so they won't be able to run my credit card address and say, well, you're not from around here. No, that's not what they're going to do. They are going to require an ID.
No.
Say it's not so.
No.
But they are.
That's Jim Crow. That's discrimination. That's right. That's oppression.
I'm just telling you, it's a whole
People
host
can't
of
get
things.
IDs.
No, there will be no married women. No married women. Or Mamdani's against married women, and he's against Black Americans.
That's right.
So these new grocery stores are going to keep out married women and Black Americans. The racism that is prevalent of the socialism.
The collective warmth, what happened?
Yeah, here's the Nick Plum. Mamdani wants to protect taxpayer-funded grocery stores from non-New York City residents. What? They'll need an ID card to enter. And
so
he says,
wants to protect from fraud and cheating.
From people who shouldn't be getting access to the New York City grocery store will be required an ID. And
an ID is the best way to do that.
That's what they're going to do. Okay. I'm pretty sure it's going to be a picture ID too.
Okay. Well.
I will bet you a donut right now that the list of IDs that they will accept for the commie grocery store will be shorter than the one they demand for voter ID in all these other states, because we jump through all kind of hoops of, we'll let you use just about anything for an ID. Sure. Yeah. So that we're not being racist. But of course, the response is Scott Jennings says, I can't believe married women who often have children are effectively being barred from these grocery stores. Monsters.
Evil.
Black Sheep said, also pretty racist not to let black people shop there. Clearly, none of them are capable of getting IDs.
You're enjoying this too much.
It's just... It's Vince, basically only people on his approved list can shop in these stores.
Man, those socialists.
So an ID is mandatory, except when you got to vote. You just that's the only time that it's wrong to require an ID.
Perfect sense. Any other time, it's kryptonite.
I don't know how we're going to. How do we have a functioning country, Sky, a culture, a civilization, when people are this insane?
You don't.
I mean, which is more of a right, or which is more of a necessity for your livelihood? I'm not saying right, but a necessity. Food or voting? If you don't vote, you just miss a vote and don't get to have a, quote, say in your representation. If you don't have food, eventually you die.
Eventually.
So they are requiring an ID for you to be able to get the things that will keep you alive, but you don't have to have an ID for voting. Now, if somebody will please call me and tell me how this lines up on your moral scale and explain how requiring an ID when voting is horrible and terrible, but requiring an ID when getting food is not horrible or terrible, and then explain to me why I should not see all of these things in the dichotomy here as simply about power and electing the people that the Marxist leftists want to elect. That's all it is.
Make it make sense somehow.
This should be the rallying cry for the United States Senate to pass the SAVE Act, but they're not going to. Speaking of the SAVE Act, did you see the conflict between the president and the Republican leadership? The Republican leadership, Thune, finally, see, if I was more like Rush Limbaugh, I would have done this last week. But I have been right since the beginning when I said the problem is not putting this up for a vote. They don't have the votes. Even if you tried to do it, they don't have the votes because Republican U.S. senators are not going to vote for it. And Thune finally let it out of the bag the other day. Now, he hawed around a little bit about, well, they're just not going to vote to break the filibuster. But the story has been since the beginning, they don't have the votes. And I've always said that the reason they don't have the votes is some of those Republican senators, I feel like, know that they are in office because of a corrupt voting system. And they're not going to get rid of the system that possibly put them in office because there's no other way around it.
Yeah, there's no other. What other explanation can you come up with?
Who is going to be angry? Not 85% of Americans are for it. 15% of the Americans who aren't for it don't know where they are half the time. That's why they're not for it. And so if you ran over somebody to do something that's morally right, people are going to be like, well, look, yeah, that's one of those things we can't have illegal cheating in our elections. You just can't. Everybody agrees on that. But they can't manage to do it, which means, in my opinion, it's about they know deep down somewhere it keeps some of them in office.
Keep the status quo.
There's just no other way around it because this is a real cut and dry moral issue. And if they've decided to put their power or their own seats above morality, that's a real problem. The Democrats are fully against doing our elections correctly. And at least according to Thune, I think it was 15 Republicans wouldn't vote to break the filibuster, even if they brought it up for a vote. 15 for something that you could easily defend. This is not some willy-nilly thing But they can't do it.
It's the epitome of bipartisan support amongst the public.
Amongst the people.
Yeah,
we
so
the people.
We the people, right.
Yeah, we the people went out a while back, I think. We got to take a break. We'll be back.
Get a chance to listen to you, I just think how grateful I am and how much we need you on a national level so more people can hear you.
Scott Beason, president of ARP, Alabama Recovering Politicians.
So you can learn things, and I appreciate that.
I appreciate that, Fred. Thank you.
But that's true, and I mean that. I'm not being sarcastic. I am serious.
We have to stop kowtowing to every little thing that they have said is bad and evil and they don't get to decide what is right and wrong. So last thing on this In-N-Out Burger deal, there was a shooting at Twin Falls, Idaho. My understanding is it was a new location, pretty new location, Sky, and the company owner and president, Lindsay Snyder, released a statement that part of it said, quote, "Turn to God, not in anger, but seeking comfort and strength." In case you didn't know, In-N-Out has put Christian messages on their packaging, cups, and I know it's on the cups.
It's on the
I've
hamburger
had
wrappers.
that
They're on the
at an
French
In-N-Out
fry.
Burger myself.
They're very upfront about their Christian faith, very much.
So I got a feeling that that's going to be part of the deal.
I've had a feeling all along, knowing what I knew about In-N-Out, having lived out that way.
Well, I'm slow with the uptake, but some people I know seem to have that feeling at the very beginning.
Definitely.
You don't know anybody like that, though, did you, that thought that early?
No, not me, man.
No, not at all.
Just speculating at this point, though.
Yeah.
Okay, so nothing is confirmed.
We don't know yet.
We're just taking, trying to solve mysteries with the clues that we're given.
Yeah. Because the press sure can't get around to it.
They're not interested in it, which tells, what do you call it?
Craig's Law?
Craig's Law.
Craig's Law.
Yeah, which tells us right off the bat, okay, they got something to hide.
Yes.
So we know right from knowing that, we know what the things they like to keep out of the narrative are. Yes. So we just start looking into those one by one, and boom, it leads you.
Yeah, so all right, look, let's think about, we're a mainstream journalist. We work for one of the big media companies that's owned by a handful of people. And we already know that we probably don't like In-N-Out. We may hate In-N-Out more than we hate Chick-fil-A, because Chick-fil-A is now kind of kowtowed down to to what we want. And they may not really believe it, but they're kissing the boots from time to time, maybe grudgingly, but they are kissing the boot and they're licking the boots. So we don't hate them quite as bad, but we know we hate these In-N-Out people because they have Bible verses and stuff on things that they're giving out to people. So we know we hate them. So a shooting occurs, and we don't even say, hey, we don't know. Maybe it's about their openly Christian beliefs. Now, I didn't think of it because I don't really frequent them a lot. I've only been to I think one maybe down in maybe in Texas. Mm-hmm. Maybe one down in the Miami area, I think, if they have them down there.
Always been primarily west of.
Yeah, I think it was Texas, and we were out there for the volleyball national championships, playoffs and stuff. And so it wouldn't just immediately occur to me, but considering that the mainstream media pretty much hates entities like that, where's the, oh, well, it might have been. Because good and well if there had been, if you could change the story at all, like if it was a Islamic burgers, I don't know what you would call them. I'm going to get myself in trouble just making up the names of the Islamic burger joint. But immediately they're like, we don't know. It probably was because of Islamophobia. That'd be right out of the chute. We don't know for sure, but there's speculation of Islamophobia.
It was falafel on a stick, by the way.
See, careful. Yeah. You'll come up with
another
amusement park before it's over. So where was the questions of, well, maybe it was an anti-Christian thing?
Nobody,
not a word.
There's another clue.
Right. The fact that they're not even guessing.
An investigative reporter would go there right away. I mean, I'm not.
Right.
And I kind of, 1, 2, 3.
Right.
Pretty natural.
Let's go to some Alabama news.
Okay.
Doug Jones is running for governor as a Democrat in the state of Alabama. During Sunday's appearance on MS Now, they have a show called Politics Nation. Doug Jones criticized his GOP opponent, U.S. Senator Tommy Tuberville, for using what he called dog whistle politics. What are you talking about, Doug? Dog whistle politics? I don't know what you're talking about. Let's see what he's talking about. Jones, without pointing to anything specific, this is a story you can find it at 1819 News by Trent Baker. Without pointing to anything specific, asserted that Tuberville had said horrific things about Muslims and black Alabamians. Jones said, "We are so excited about the energy that we are seeing across Alabama." Jones told host Al Sharpton. Al Sharpton still has a show on MS Now. He's continued on. The town halls that we're doing, I'm out there all the time, Tommy Tuberville's not. He's staying hidden like he did in 2020. But that was COVID time. It was easy to stay hidden. Not anymore. He's got to get out there, he continued. So the energy that we're seeing is really remarkable, and I think people are seeing all of the just horrific things he says about Muslims, about black Alabamians, about others, the dog whistle politics he's used. We've known that kind of racial division politics for a long, long time in Alabama, and I think people are tired of it. Listen to this. This is Doug Jones. This is Democrat nominee, pasty white guy, Doug Jones. Tommy Tuberville is trying to throw us back into that era of hate, of division, an Alabama that everybody sees as us versus them, good versus evil. But that's not the people of Alabama I know. He went on to claim that just like in his 2017 special U.S. Senate election victory over Roy Moore, voters would reject Tuberville's politics. Doug Jones, Mr. Jones, Senator Jones, Candidate Jones, you became a U.S. Senator because the Republican Party establishment decided to bail on Roy Moore. That's why you were a U.S. Senator, not because people rejected his politics. Most people in the state of Alabama agreed with his politics, and we've proven that on this program, one of the most widely listened to programs in the state of Alabama, because when we go through it point by point, people are like, oh, yeah, I'm for that. I'm for that. I'm for that. We've actually done it on this show. We've gone to liberal rags and searched and found the terrible, hateful things that were said by Moore when he was a candidate. And we didn't tell people it was Moore as a candidate. We left them as, hey, this is a position. And people are like, yeah, I'm for that. So, Doug Jones, you were not elected because rejected the politics. You were elected because Richard Shelby and the Republicans in general did not want someone who, I'm just going to be straight up with you, whether you think he was crazy or not, no one was telling Roy Moore what to do. He was not a controllable figure, and that was going to be a big problem. And he had a long-standing beef with Richard Shelby. I know that. And I'm sure, not being, kissing the feet or licking the boots had something to do with it. So this is going to be fascinating. But to say that Tuberville, the one thing that Jones comes close to getting right on this one is where he's talking about it's not a good versus evil. It is good versus evil. All of this stuff is good versus evil, Mr. Jones. So why don't you tell us what is good and what is evil, and then we'll let us decide. We'll use a standard and decide. But MS now? And I also don't believe there's some sort of energy at the Doug Jones rallies. There wasn't energy at the Doug Jones rallies when he won that Senate seat. We got to take a break. We'll be back.
Every time I get a chance to listen to you, I just think how grateful I am and how much we need you on a national level so more people can hear you.
Scott Beason, president of ARP, Alabama Recovering Politicians.
All right, let's get out to your phones. Let's go out to Duke. Duke, welcome to the program.
What's going on, my friend?
Hey, my friend. How are you, buddy?
Oh, pretty good.
Yeah, what's up? What's on your mind?
I hope you was kind enough to enlighten us a little bit more about this reflection pool thing. I think the government owes an apology for telling them one of the American citizens to be stupid enough to believe a man took a box cutter and cut this daggone thing that was many miles long and then you say we got evidence that he did. It sounds like the Epstein file. We got the evidence, right?
Mm-hmm. What was it? Wait, dude. Wasn't there a video of the person damaging?
Had a video there. They're cutting it up.
They had a video of what now?
They had a video of the man out there cutting this daggone on the bottom of this so-called pool or whatever.
Yeah. You don't think but you don't think he actually did that.
And Fox News or they had
No. That's not what I asked you. I said you saw the video. Was there a guy vandalizing the reflecting pool?
No.
No, wait a minute. I thought you saw it.
Because they came out Friday. I just told Scott he's claiming he ain't know nothing about the news. But Department of Justice came out Friday, and it's all over the news.
Yeah, no,
what's the name? It's on Fox News. What's the name?
Janine Piero.
Yeah, she came out and said that it was caused by a blocked construction work.
Yeah. But what I'm trying to say to you, Duke, is that she's not saying that this person didn't attempt to damage the reflecting pool. They're saying wait a minute. They're saying that that didn't cause all of the problem, and that apparently they're like, we're not going to be able to get a conviction because the turning green and all that had something to do with the way the system worked. And I mean, they weren't even able to convict the guy that threw the meal, the bread, the something or another at the people back when they first put the military in Washington D.C. and cracked down on the crime. They had the guy throw the item at the officer or at the military personnel, and they tried to say it was an assault. That guy was let off as well. So I think what the argument is he was trying to do something, but whether or not he was successful, was he a successful vandal? That was the question. Is my understanding. You may explain it to me differently, but I think that's
okay.
But and you got to ask yourself, that's what what is MS Now going to say? They're not going to explain it to you.
No, Fox News, all of them talking about it right now.
Well,
okay?
Fox News is not exactly overly the standard.
Everybody running the Fox News. They say watch Fox News. I've been watching Fox News too.
Yeah, well.
But at the end of the day, Scott.
That's so 2004.
What did they say? They say they dropped this case because they found out that it was done by these professionals that Trump hired to do the job.
Okay, so what do you want to do about it? So wait a minute. So let me understand. Wait, Duke. Let me ask you a question, because you've worked for people before. We've talked about it before. Have you ever seen anyone hired to do a job? Maybe you were working with them. I know that you would do it right. I'm being serious about that. I'm trying to make sure you don't think I'm lumping you in the group. Have you ever worked a job where somebody was hired to do something and they did it half-butt or did it incorrectly?
I've seen some half-ass jobs done before, yes.
I have too. Now, was that the responsibility of the person who hired them, or was it the responsibility of the person who did it?
To talk about the subject matter at hand, see, they claim this man took a knife and went all the way down this thing and had this paint just floating on top of the water like a damn duck. So, but they come to find out that.
Well, I don't know. I don't know the whole story, but I have seen the video, and that guy was not in there trying to fix it. How about that?
This guy, all the guy did, he saw it floating on the water. He picked up a little piece that was loose.
And just pulled
held
it
in his hand. So.
Oh, okay. Well, look. You may be telling me something I don't know, man. But I got to take a break till tomorrow. So give us a call back, Duke. Y'all be safe. Be good. To see y'all.